We were resuming our proceedings. It's now 2 minutes after 14 hours. I'm allocating the SC 1 hour 30 minutes to conclude the questions. And then thereafter SC, we are going to break for 30 minutes between 3:30 and 16 hours. So when we come back at 16 hours, members should be ready, starting with the members from the African National Congress. I will be allocating 1 hour 20 minutes for each of the, for the two speakers for each of the parties. That is inclusive of the full member and the alternate, 1 hour 20 minutes. So we will determine how far we run so that by the rise of the next day, we must have done a significant work. Thank you so much. SC, welcome back, General.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Chair, honorable members, General Cele. We were at the meeting at the high-end Beverly Hills Hotel when you met there with Mr. Mogotsi and Mr. Matlala.
Yes.
So when you were asked by Mr. Mogotsi to meet, or rather, let me ask you this: did he tell you that you were going to meet someone interesting, someone of interest, someone important? What did he tell you before you went to the Beverly Hills Hotel, or did you just go with him?
Well, he wanted to see me. He's a KZN boy, so it's December, I'm sure, all in holiday. So I have met him before, Mabong. So I have met him before. So he has I think he has not a private security company himself, Mabong. And then he did come to me and said, look, you're out of government. If you're in Joburg, you can use my services to take you from here to there. No, I haven't used much of his services, but like a boy, I see, I've said yes the once or twice. So Mabonga was quite easy, and we have been meeting with him.
So let me just.
So I when he said you want to see me, no many questions will follow from me to him.
And he comes in his private jet, did you say?
Who now?
Matlala?
I don't know how it came about. Oh. I don't know how it came about.
Oh, I thought I heard you said he. Yeah.
I think it does have a private jet. I think it does have a private jet because as he speaks, he's a person that he would not have hours of coming in
waiting at the airport, in a lounge or in the public area, like us.
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
Not like you in the VIP lounge. But seriously, did you know of Matlala? Anything about him? Or did you know of him as a businessman, business person?
It's exactly what I'm saying, that I read about him 2 weeks before I met him. And I was saying to myself, when I continue to engage with him and I see him and I see his records, I ask myself, how did he manage to fly below radar for him to know? Because most of his kind, one would know before there is a story about him on the paper and the money. I didn't know him.
But now that you met him, what was your impressions of him? I mean, you've been involved in the police. I'm sure you have a sense better than us ordinary citizens about people you interact with, and especially a sense of, what they're doing. Is it the right thing or the wrong thing, or you at least have a suspicion about something? What were your impressions?
There will be two matters here, SC. As I've said, that he has really managed to fly below the radar. As I've said, that I would know Keke, I would know people like PP and other those guys. I know people like Mashobane from Ashratsville and all that. So I didn't. Now I know him. I've spoken to him. I've engaged him. I had somebody being interviewed from Mamelodi, saying he's a very good, kind person. They know he's a person that helps them. Looking at him from the very word go, remember, I've met here a person that I don't know has been arrested, has not been arrested. Looking at him, he looks a cool guy. As you definitely look at him, he looks a cool guy. Until you begin to hear, you begin to get records. For instance, I was looking at the withdrawn cases and all that kind of stuff, and I said, this one is too long. How does he manage to fly below all of us? Because withdrawn cases are done by courts, which means the police have taken him to court.
Yeah.
So, but as I've said, you begin to look him with a new eye than the person that you have ordinarily met.
Okay. Now, were you aware, or did you know, or were you involved in the award of this 360 million rand Tswane contract? Because that tender was awarded during your term as Minister of Police.
Well, I think there are billions of tens that are issued from the police,
But not this big.
I don't know, but I wouldn't say it can't happen. We might come back to that. I wouldn't say it can't be that big. I think they could be big, but I don't know. But looking at the operations and things that are done, it could be some money with the tenders. For instance, I would guess that the tender of buying cars is big. I don't know how much it would be. But when police buy cars, they buy cars in a big way. I would guess so. I think the other tender that would have been big is a tender of laboratories. Once upon a time, we had a serious problem about laboratories, the DNA in South Africa. It was a mess. And you discovered that 16 contracts were not renewed. And I don't know how much it would take to renew those things. The IT is quite big, the IT with the South African police. The guns, the bullets. Remember, the bullets are not only chasing the criminals. There's a lot of bullets that are used for training. So I guess that would be. But that does not reduce this. That is big. But I would not absolutely say this is the biggest. I guess they are big, but this one also, especially for the individual, is quite big.
So when you met him, you didn't know, or you weren't aware that he had secured this 360 million rand tender?
Indeed, after I've read 2 weeks before I met him, I knew he had this tender.
So you did some research on him before you met him?
No, it was an article in the paper that he is the guy that is got links with Tembisa issues has again won this big tender with another government department, which happens to be the police. So it was an article somewhere. I can't remember.
I think that was the article that appeared in News 24 about Matlala.
Well, I can't remember the publication, but it was on the media.
But didn't that arouse or raise your suspicions about him? Because that's what the article suggests, is that this is a person, this is a guy, who's connected. Forgive me, I don't know exactly what the article said, but if I recall, it suggests that he is not clean, that he's shady. And here you, as a former minister of police, you go and meet such a person. And we know that he's come to meet you to ask you for assistance.
As I've said, that when I met him for the first time, I asked if he's Matlala, and I was not told by Mabonga that who am I meeting. So, and again, I have read that stories, but the stories and the man that is being suspected would have to be confirmed by talking and engaging after we have engaged, rather than to say, I read the story from you and then I run away. Especially in the environment that we work. Sometimes these stories you want to follow because you want to see what else can you do to reach the other elements of what you have heard, what you have seen.
Now, you say that is when he explained that he had been approached to fund a project by someone who aims to be the ANC president or deputy president, and the Minister Mchunu's name was mentioned.
Correct.
And that Brown Mogotsi had met with him and Mr. Minister Mchunu. Why would they have mentioned that to you? You are now, even as we speak, I don't think, are you still active in the political arena? Why would they mention this specifically to you?
Who? Brown?
Matlala. Yes.
Because it says my name was mentioned. Okay. To say, we'll work well with you so long you don't work with Zuma and Cele. In that particular meeting. So that's one reason. Once you see me, he realizes that it's being abused. But the second one is an affidavit that was to be prepared to arrest Sibia.
Yes.
Not Sibia. Kumalo. General Tumsan Kumalo. Too many because there are other Kumalos that were still coming. This is Tumsan Kumalo.
Just one moment, Honorable Malema.
No, Minister, I just want you to confirm that you are still active, because the question almost suggested that you are no longer politically active.
No, politically I'm active. I'm still the member of the National Executive Committee of the ANC, and still have some activities in the province where I come from.
Okay. So okay. that part of the information that Matlala was funding.
SC. Just before we proceed, let me recognize the presence of the following two members of Parliament, Honorable Kobe from Action SA and Honorable Slepe from the MKP. Thank you so much, honorable members, for giving yourself time to join our proceedings. You may proceed.
Thank you, Honourable Chair. So that would be of interest to you. This is a bit of political information that that Matlala is funding the ambitions of someone in the party. So that would be of interest to you.
Well, surely they would, because as an active member, I would have my preferences. But this information was not invited by me. But I would not say I don't want to hear it.
So now you're actually meeting him for the first time, and you're getting this information from Matlala. Now, surely your impressions, your perception of him must be changing. What are you thinking now after hearing this?
No, there are no perceptions that are changing. I've met a person that I do not know, has given me this information, and there is an action that I need to take. The action that I need to take is that the court, Khumalo should not go to court, because Khumalo going to court is not genuine. Is to put him there. He loses the case and is disciplined, and I guess the aim is to take him out of police, especially having come from the person that I knew. They were not very close, him and Jisbia. So I had to action that.
Now, Minister,
SC, there is Honorable James behind.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Chair. It is just a clarity-seeking question, because I recall posing a question yesterday to Minister Senzo, asking him if he had met with Brown and with Kat to discuss a certain project about a campaign for president or deputy president. I told him that's part of your testimony, and he said it's a blatant no. So just clarity, because I heard you touching on it. Did you now say that Kat told you that there was indeed a meeting where Minister Senzo was present with Brown and himself?
And they spoke about the project.
And spoke about the project for the ANC
Yes, it did.
president, indeed.
Yes, it
And
did.
the minister denied it yesterday.
Well, he really did tell me that.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chair.
May we proceed? Honorable James, are you okay? May we proceed? Thank you. SC?
thank you, Honourable Chair. General, you have so much of experience in the police portfolio. You're sitting opposite a very well-heeled person in a high-end hotel who's asking you to collude with him effectively to defeat the ends of justice. He's asking you for a favor to make sure that one of your best, maybe our best, police officers, Khumalo, must not conclude an investigation into him. Why didn't you get up and say, but I didn't come here for this. This is objectionable. This is outrageous. How did you respond to that?
Did I hear well when I said I spoke to Matlala to stop Khumalo investigating?
Yes.
No.
But I'm sorry, General, just so that you understand what I'm asking or putting to you clearly.
Okay.
What he's asking you is to break the law when he says you must do something for him. And he's telling you, you know, what Sabia wants to do. This involves very much the PKTT on the one end and the Gauteng syndicate on the other end, involving Molefe, Matlala, and he's sitting right in front of you.
SC, I don't know Matlala as we meet at Beverly.
Yeah.
By the way, Beverly is high end, but I eat breakfast every Sunday there. So to me, it's quite next door to me. Secondly, he doesn't talk to me about stopping him being raided or arrested. He talks to me being approached to do things so that Khumalo can be arrested.
Yes.
That's hence the affidavit to say Khumalo did not just raid, it was illegal, but not only that, the theft. Is Matlala working or through Sbia that is taking Khumalo to court? But Matlala does not want to face Khumalo in court because he doesn't want to jeopardize the relationship with the police, since he has this tender from the police. It would be good, then Matlala realizes that it's being abused or used to achieve other ends rather than what was there as a raid on that particular day. So Matlala raises the issue that he would love that the matter that is going to court could be settled out of court, because going to court is not genuine. Going to court is to make sure that Khumalo is found wanting, that he will lose the case that he was unlawful. If then Khumalo loses the case, somebody who happens to be Sbia will then put discipline to him and be able to take him out of, or punish him or take him out of the organization.
Yes, General, it sounds to me, and I may not be alone in this room thinking like what I'm going to tell you, that he wants to draw you into a conspiracy to neutralize Khumalo. That's what it's about ultimately. Now, perhaps at the time, it didn't occur to you, or you weren't conscious of it.
No,
Because to be fair, because you then suggest, well, you must have a meeting with Khumalo, isn't it? Let me just read from your affidavit so that I don't put words in your mouth. You said, I advised Mr. Matlala that he needed to meet with Lieutenant General Khumalo to discuss the matter.
indeed.
And the charges he was instructed to bring against him and the team that had raided his property on 6 December 2014. Now you, especially as Minister of Police, former Minister, better informed than the ordinary person, it's at least alleged that he's involved in criminal activity. And you would expect, especially that Khumalo was involved in the raid on his house on the 6th of December. So you should have been more aware than most of us that Matlala is trying to induce you to do something which is not lawful.
Well, SC, maybe that's correct. But my angle is that at the end of the day here is Khumalo who's going to be last victim. And that is what I could not agree with. Hence, I got involved because if Khumalo loses the case that is going to court next week, is getting disciplined. But if the case, that's why Matlala meeting Khumalo is to brief him about what Sibiya has conspired against Khumalo. My angle is not saying don't raid Matlala. My angle is that if anything, which I did not know that Matlala is being investigated and all that kind of thing. But I've got no angle of Matlala. My angle is this Khumalo who is put on a trap of going to court, understanding that it's taking somebody, and is not him, by the way, SC. It's not Khumalo that is taking Matlala to court. It's Matlala who's taking Khumalo to court for unlawful, which does not come from him, which he has been pushed through. So my angle here is that we can't have Khumalo that will go to court and lose and then get out of the system. That's my angle on this matter. But I don't deny that looking at this under angle would have benefited Matlala on it. But my sole focus here is that nobody should take Khumalo to court, not genuinely so, but to make sure that Khumalo becomes a victim at the end of the day.
Well, it also relates to a huge tender, 360 million rand tender that had been awarded to him. And now he says, look, I don't want this award to be prejudiced or, as it turned out, terminated because of my involvement in this issue involving Khumalo, involving Sibiya, the fight between them. So please help me out. That's the nub of this story here.
Well,
that's why you're being called to this meeting.
Well, two things. Indeed, is if this contract is not cancelled, it will benefit, no doubt about it. But that's not my angle. My angle is that Khumalo, I don't know what Holelo part is, but is not lured to the problem. Khumalo, that my angle here and my gist of here, I want to believe that if there was no Khumalo and him going to court about this matter would have ended there. Even if maybe it was a raid from other people that I do not know, I would not have pursued. The issue here for me, SC, is Khumalo.
But we know you didn't go and speak to Khumalo about it.
I did speak to Khumalo.
When? Afterwards?
Yes, I did.
Because I would have thought you would have said, look, hold it.
No.
Because now you only have one side of the story.
No, I did.
From Matlala.
I did speak to Khumalo.
Yes.
About his going to court, and going to court is this what Matlala says is planned with Sibiya. Hence, Sibiya pushes Matlala to take Khumalo to court. So I did. And Khumalo was going to raise it with his lawyers to see how it go about, because the issue now was that him being taken to court is not genuine, that he's being taken to court because of illegal, but he's being taken to court so that he becomes a victim and takes out of the system. But I did speak to Khumalo. What I do not know is that if Khumalo did speak to Matlala, I don't know that. But the case was dropped, and I guess lawyers did speak. But whether Khumalo did speak to Matlala, because Khumalo would have known more about the raid and pursuance of Matlala than me. Maybe without telling me, he would not speak to. But I did suggest, that what Matlala is briefing me about, he must brief Khumalo. I did say so.
But it's still, even after this meeting or this encounter, and after you had spoken to Khumalo, surely, or let me just pause at that point. After you spoke to Khumalo, after this meeting, did Khumalo not explain to you why the raid happened?
No, it didn't.
Didn't you ask him about it?
No, I didn't ask about the raid, and he didn't tell me about the raid, why they were raiding.
But I thought that was the whole reason why Matlala wanted you to intervene and speak to Khumalo. He's not telling you, and I'm reading from paragraph 69, you said, Mr. Matlala explained that Lieutenant General Sabia had written an affidavit on his behalf, alleging that during the raid on his home, Mr. Matlala's Rolex watch was stolen by members of the PKTT, seconded to the Gauteng County Intelligence Operations. However, the Rolex was in Mr. Matlala's possession and had not been stolen. So I thought you would tell Khumalo, look, this is what I've been told.
My anger here was that Khumalo was being lured to trouble. To say taking him to court has got nothing to do with illegality of the raid, but is used as a transit towards his being disciplined, because he will have to lose the case in court, and then his seniors, which happens to be, because he reports to this Deputy National Commissioner, who is Sibisi, who is this interior motive of sending Matlala. But Matlala says, now I realize that I'm being used. So please tell Khumalo that it's not me, it's Sibia. So the case that is taken by Matlala, he wants to drop it so that Khumalo is not taken to this grinding machine by Sibia through Matlala. I'm saying the angle of me talking and entertaining this matter is that angle of Khumalo telling him that is not Matlala, but there is somebody behind Matlala.
Honorable Nombalo.
Yeah, thank you very much. Chair, I just need some clarification from the General. I think if I heard him correctly, he said that Matlala made an indication to him that he is worried that if he continues with laying a charge against Khumalo, that might put his contract, or it might expose his contract to danger. Now, what I need clarity on, General, is what were you concerned about here? Were you concerned about Matlala losing a tender, or Khumalo being unfairly treated? I just need clarity on that.
Maybe let's repeat the words of Matlala to say, I don't want to go in conflict with the police because I don't want to lose, I don't want the conflict with the police because I have this contract. So I don't want to lose because I'm fighting with the police. I'm saying, honorable member, my consent was Khumalo issue being taken to this machine with an understanding that he needs to lose at the end of the day. But I'm not denying that Matlala himself would have benefited in that process of saving his contract. But that's not the main issue here. The main issue is Khumalo that is taken to court, and he must lose the court and that discipline and taken out of the system.
I'll pursue it during my turn, Chair.
Thanks, Honourable Chair. General Cele, did I understand you to say that you read this News 24 article about Matlala before the meeting?
Yes.
Okay. Now that article is at page 71. It's BC 8.
Page
70.
81.
Yeah, BC 8, 71 and 72. Yeah.
Yes. I'm there.
So before you met with Matlala, you would have had some idea of who this is.
Yes. After reading this article.
And this article is what one can describe as quite unflattering.
Quite
Unflattering.
unthreatening.
Yeah. We're not going to, we've had a lot of the dictionary in this hearing so far. It's an article which is not kind to Mr. Matlala.
Oh, yes.
It portrays him as someone who is involved in murky dealings. Of course, I don't rely on this article for what's contained in it. But if I had to read this article before meeting someone, and I do meet him, even if I didn't know I was going to meet him, I'd probably jump up immediately and leave. I mean, this is just randomly look at it's about the Tembisa Hospital fraud investigation. He's now entangled in a case involving the kidnapping of a woman and a child. Then it talks about following a raid on his home. Then in court papers, so he's involved there. There's the 360 million. Then it talks about Kobile, Dikhale, and a 9-year-old son were abducted. And then it ends with with a reference to the late Babita Deokaran, the late but famous whistleblower. But 3 weeks after that, she was killed. So the whole thrust of the article, quite frankly, portrays him as a dark character.
I agree.
You met with him?
Maybe, let's see, we don't come from the same world of understanding matters. I said to you, the call comes from prison. It tells me that in a certain lodge at Tulundi, there are people who are sitting there with the AKs. And they are ready to kill this ex-Inkosi. And I say, I speak to provincial commissioner. He goes there and says, he finds the information as is. I could have said to a person who's calling from prison, don't phone me. Don't call me. And Inkosi dies.
Okay.
If there are few criminals, that you would know they are top. If that criminal phones you, he phones me, and I know him, to say SCRNs will be assassinated, and I say, look, you are a criminal. Don't phone me, don't talk to me about any other things, and you are assassinated. And I come to tell the story that, by the way, this criminal phoned me. and I did not do anything. I agree. There are meetings that you would do. Let me tell you one story of a person that I met who is a king of Zamazamas. Actually, there are two Zamazamas. One, I forget his surname, is a Soto guy because this guy, Zamazamas are mostly are also run from Lesotho. I met him. Later, that guy is arrested, but he was to meet me to give me information. Okay. The second thing that could not be made direct, there is a guy called LL. I don't know if you know a guy called LL, SC. His name is Louis Lubenberg. He's a king of Zamazamas. He cleans diamonds and everything. He's millions and millions. He finds MKP. He maybe finds Baba and through him MKP because he paid 500,000. He paid 500,000 for the case for the private case to be taken to court. I think taking case privately, you pay. He paid that money. And he has been arrested. He's in prison as I speak for running diamond. He has appeared in court, and MK has been in court supporting him every day when he goes to court. Now, I don't know whether they don't know that, but the crux of the matter is that you can meet somebody and get later how deep that person is. But if you work in security, SC, you can't say, I can't meet you, because that kind of information from that person could be the lifesaver of many other things. So understand where I come from. By the way, I do meet criminals. I do. And the information can be broader used than not having met him. Others, there are those that are obvious, like the Cape Town one. Really, I can't meet Medoc. I can't meet Nassif. I can't meet those guys. But those, because you know how far have they gone, it might not help you. You can even, those guys say, meet so and so and send the officer to that person. But some of these guys will refuse to say, I'm not going to give this information because if I give this information to somebody different, it might come back to bite me. But this is a world that we live in from the work that we are doing or we were doing, SC.
So, if because of time, General, if I can just move on. So, you met Matlala again several times after that.
Yes.
Why?
This question of politics, Matlala, me, and Mchunu has come on play, because Matlala begins to feed me things that either Mogotsi or Mchunu, they are fitting to him. Basically, some of them, they are targeted to Khumalo. I must come up front. I've worked with Khumalo. I've seen his work. I think I don't know his dark side, but he's one, if he does have one, but he's one corp that I will protect. Khumalo is one corp that I'll protect. So, and he's like Mkhwanazi himself. For me, he remains a good cop. People, they've asked that he has spoken things about you. I said, separate a good cop to the human being, because that is a good cop. It doesn't mean he's a perfect human being. We can come back to that. But there are those people that I will protect, knowing very well how much are they contributing towards the proper working of the organization called the police, but also knowing very well that if they get hurt, it might hurt the organization. So if I have any way of protecting and helping on that, I will do. And Khumalo is one of those people. So Matlala kept coming with information about me and about Khumalo. So if he calls and say, there is something new that has come up, here it is, I will definitely go and listen. That would include, don't know if I'm going too far. That will include him telling me that he has been given an article, SC.
Yes,
He
I'm listening.
has been given an article that's talk about me and Masimula. That article is a 2012 article from a guy called Pandey. Pandey was arrested in KZN for the inflation of the accommodation of 2010 accommodation. So now it goes Matlala stroke Mogotsi. But the theory of them getting is that Matlala tells me that Mchunu is preparing to arrest me for having got in the corruption of the 2010 tender. Here is an evidence. Somebody will have to tell me how does that article find its way, either Mogotsi stroke Matlala. But looks, the theory of it is that Matlala is being assured that Cele will be arrested. Remember, by now, it is known that by Mchunu that Matlala links with Cele, but Matlala has been told that he should not mix up with Cele. So now he is told that this article will make me to arrest your man.
So why would Minister Mchunu want you to be arrested?
You can answer that best.
Sorry, General.
You can answer that best.
But this is what you're hearing from Matlala.
Yes.
So he also peddles this information about Minister Mchunu, about Toshan Pandey. This is all part of this.
That actually arrest me and Masimula because we were involved in corruption of 2010. So this is 2025. This article came in 2012, where this guy made the claim. Now it finds its way to Matlala stroke Mogotsi.
And you say in paragraph 74 of your statement that after that first meeting, there were several other encounters with Mr. Matlala in which he explained this project. Is that the project involving Mogotsi and Minister Mchunu?
Of him becoming
Yes.
a president or deputy president.
Yeah, which he's working
I don't
on.
know which one, but Matlala also didn't know whether it's president or deputy president.
So you can't recall exact dates of these meetings or encounters?
No, definitely. Remember, SC, I'm not working now. I don't have the diary where these things checking. I'm no more working. I'm not in the government. I'm just a South African. So I'm not going to be checking the date. When do I see you? And I don't have any PA to ask. When did Matlala? PA is not even there to talk about Matlala. So really, if you want me dates, I'll strike to get dates. When even this one of coming here now, I was reminded by my wife So she still helps me. But I didn't tell her about
didn't
Matlala's
send her
wife.
WhatsApp?
No, I didn't tell her about Matlala's date.
Now, or give us more or less, give us a month. January, February, March of 2025. You can't remember which month you met.
Meeting him.
Yes. After the Beverly Hills.
I think we did meet in January. I think we did meet in January.
Okay.
I think we did meet in January.
All these encounters.
No, not all these encounters. Not the encounters. The encounters were intense in January after we've met, the Kumalo thing, and at a certain given point, I don't know when, the issue of the irregular tender then comes. Maybe one major thing that happens here, Mabonga died. Mabonga, the person who links me and it dies, is gets shot at a place called Low in Gauteng. Mabonga was a rash guy, almost close to the dead, and Bangazita would know his father. So was a very rash guy. I remember I was told that the day he was shot, he was with 12 bodyguards. He died with 2 bodyguards in Sentin. So while I speak to Kat, Mabonga is part of facilitation of the meetings. Okay. Now, as Mabonga dies, I don't have number for Kat, and it doesn't have number for me. And the one question that was asked by the journalist is that Kat is my friend. He asked 2 things: that is my friend and a business partner. That is a News 24 journalist. I said to the journalist, I don't have a friend called the Cat. I don't know his house. I don't know his wife. It doesn't know my house. It doesn't know my wife. Doesn't know my family and all. So it can't be my friend. He's an acquaintance because we talk to him about issues. Secondly, the journalist argues that he sent the message to the management of Capitac, where he has this flat stroke penthouse, saying to the management, this is my friend, Bheki Cele is my friend and a business partner. If he comes there, please open the place to sleep. I must admit, SC, it would be nice to get a free place to sleep. It would be nice to go to Pretoria and sleep free when you don't work. Even if you work, you would have taken it, but then report and declare that has happened. But it's not true that I'm his business partner. I say to the journalist, that's an easy question to deal with. Go to the register, those people, property, and those register business. Pull where I've registered as a business partner and say, you are a business partner of Matlala. So don't ask me something that you can prove very easy. So, simply put, I did say to journalists, he's not my friend, I'm not the business partner. So, I must raise an issue here. about the journalist. I guess he's a good journalist, but I wonder if he's not having a narrative in this matter. Whatever narrative that comes from. For instance, the journalist phones me and says, "You have phoned Matlala 10 times. I says, "Yes, I have." And he says, "You have sent him messages." I said, "No, I don't send messages." But the journalist writes the story of 10 times, use terms frantic, whatever. But he also says, "I have had 100 times encounter through the messages." When I've told the journalist that I don't send the messages, that's the first one that I begin to say, this journalist, and we had a problem because not as honorable member Cameroon, he was treating me like a schoolboy. This journalist, and we have a serious encounter. When the journalist come back to me now to write the story of the meeting with Kat at Zimbabwe, because I had a meeting with Kat at Zimbabwe.
You met him on the 18th of March at Zimbabwe.
Senior
Yes,
counsel.
So you've met him again.
Let me take Honorable Malem. I think he has a follow-up on the statement that you have made, General.
Thanks, Chair. General Mabonga, apart from being known as a child,
Come again, that.
Mabonga.
Okay, Mabong.
Yeah, Mabonga.
Yes.
Apart from being known as a child of some taxi, what in KZN, he was a well-known thug in Gauteng, a criminal of note. Was that known to you at that time?
Well, I know that he has been arrested at some time. Criminal of note, not exactly, but arrested. Yes, I know that he had a criminal record, honorable member.
Proceed, SC.
Sorry, you met Mr. Matlala several times since. And you also were made aware of an email. Sorry, it's because you don't send WhatsApps, It's a WhatsApp
Okay.
from Brown Mogotsi on the 22nd of January, where he says, and I'm just reading, it's on page 27 of the annexures. Sorry, it's in the body of your affidavit, sorry. On page 27. So it's Mogotsi to Matlala. You'll see the name Dlamini, but that's also another name for Matlala. Yeah. So you'll see at are you okay?
SC, I want to bring in Honorable Nomvalo just before you start.
Yeah, no, I just need some clarification, Chair, because I don't want to assume that the minister meant what he wrote here on his affidavit, because he might write something and say something else which does not accord with what he has written here. When he was saying that it would have been nice to sleep in a free accommodation, was he actually confirming that indeed he slept in Matlala's apartment?
Yes,
or
I
flat?
did. Yes, I did.
So, okay.
Yeah, I did twice.
Oh, you slept twice. Okay, thank you.
Are you fine?
Fine, Chair.
Thank you. SC, let's proceed.
I was trying to follow a sequence, Honourable Chair, and get there. But I was still, General, referring you to page 27 of your statement, which is this,
Page 27.
yeah, what's up from Matlala. This is a WhatsApp from Mogotsi to Matlala on the 22nd of January this year.
Page 27
Yeah.
on my main statement.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you'll see in that WhatsApp you are mentioned there several times. In the first paragraph, there's reference to the 26 million tender, and they state here, it must be a mistake, but it says current Minister of Police Bheki Cele's signature is on the tender approval documents. But your signature is on the tender approval documents right at the end. But on the 25th of January, you weren't the current Minister of Police.
No, this document is when I was a national commissioner, not minister. It's when I was a national commissioner in 2010,
sorry.
dealing with the accommodation of the police for 2010.
Thank you for correcting me.
I was signing documents as a national commissioner, not as a minister.
Yeah, and because they go on to talk about in collusion with the current National Police Commissioner, General Masimula.
Masimula
Yeah.
was head of policing, visible policing then.
Let me rather jump to the end of this WhatsApp, which says Cele was putting a lot of pressure for the then acting commissioner, Lieutenant General Mchunu to finalize these appointments. So just explain what this is all about. Is this the 2010?
What is happening? Can you read again?
At the bottom of the WhatsApp, Cele was putting a lot of pressure for the then acting commissioner, Lieutenant General Mchunu to finalize these appointments. It was during this meeting whereby they all struck a deal that Balushan and Perumal will make all the aforementioned cases to disappear, as well as Cele will be protected from prosecution for the 2010 World Cup tender corruption.
Where is Cele this time? Mkhwana is acting because Cele is suspended.
Where in his references?
Mkhwana is acting because Cele is suspended.
Yeah, no.
Now, Cele from suspension runs from suspension to come and put pressure on the acting national commissioner to work on this thing.
No, it appears that they are reviving this issue of the 2010 tender, which you're aware of.
I'm aware of.
You're aware of that tender, but they're reviving that, and this is what you say in your affidavit at at paragraph 76. I understand that this was the text message that was to be used to try and bring charges against me. I do not know why bringing charges against me was part of the project discussed by Minister Mchunu and Brown Mogotsi with Mr. Matlala. Since I'm no longer involved in government, I suspect, however, that it may relate to my continued involvement in politics in KZN, which is relevant for the upcoming ANC election.
I affirm. That's my statement.
But isn't the real reason why they, if it is the case that they want to draw you, suck you into this by reviving 2010 stuff, that they wanted you to put pressure on General Khumalo and his ongoing investigations into, amongst others, Matlala, Molefe, Mogotsi, this whole syndicate?
I said, don't go too far. I don't know Mogotsi, I don't know Molefe. Huh? I know Matlala. So if you pull them together, I might get confused because I don't know.
But you know, you've met Matlala. And,
Yeah.
yes, and he's telling you that.
But I don't know Molefe.
Yeah.
I've seen him getting the bail now and again. I've read that he has been arrested in London, but he still gets the bail after bail after bail. So, yes, and stories how he gets the bail, that somebody was paid for the bail and the police knew that he was going to pay so long he pays that person. So I don't know. I don't know Mogotsi either. I only know that he comes from Mahikeng. This thing, it might be an issue, remains a suspicion to me, that is got to do with the processes of the African National Congress conference. But a person who can affirm what's an issue is a person who wants me arrested using this 2012 and sending these things and promising Matlala that I'll be arrested soon. So that's a person that can explain. Yeah. My could be the suspicion that maybe the suspicion that I'm not supporting the cause of somebody becoming a president or deputy president. Maybe I'm supporting other people. That one is mine. I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah. They say you must disclose that view under oath.